Hey guys, Burning Woods here, and I got another battle here, and it's versus a guy named fatninja. Yeah, he was a really fun match. This is actually a rematch I had against him because the last match it was kind of boring, so I had to sweep. Anyways, here we go. He sent out his own Okusu, and I sent out my blade, which is my Glade. And he withdraws because he knows I'm gonna ice punch. So he goes into his He Daruma, but I wasn't sure what to predict, so I decided to keep going with it. He goes for the Flare Blitz and knocks me out, which I didn't expect at all because that kind of knocked me out completely, very fast. I'm not quite sure, but it turns out he's scarfed. So yeah, and I go into my Arcanine for the Intimidate to lower his speed. So he switches out and he goes into Zuruzukin, but I'm like, why? That's a horrible switch because I can just Flare Blitz him and. Because I went for the Flare Blitz predicting the switch. And then I go for the extreme speed to knock him out. And he goes back into his He Daruma, and I just go for another extreme speed and I knock him out. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting match. And he goes into his Sizen Door, and I know I'm going to die. He's going to go for like a Draco Meteor or something. So I switch out and go to my Heavy Load, my Magneton, with Evolution Stone. But he goes to the Outrage, and I'm like, wow, that did pretty little damage, so I can decide I'm going to try to stay in and get some Para Hacks or whatever. But it turns out I don't get anything at all, and in fact, he gets like the useless crit with a Flamethrower against me. And then I go to my Jump U, which is my Kajundo, and I use Fake Out, just trying to flinch him. And I thought that he might switch possibly, so I went for the Stone Edge, but I missed. And he goes for the Draco Meteor, even though he was confused, he actually hit, which sucks. And then I go into my Zapdos, and then I go for the sub, predicting the possible confusion or whatever. And he snaps, and then he goes for the taunts. I'm like, oh wow, alright, free substitute for me. So then from this point on, I'm just spamming the T-Bolt from this point. And yeah, I'm T-Bolting, and he decides to Dragon Dance, and I was hoping that I would be faster from the even though he got one Dragon Dance, I was hoping I would be faster, but well, no, actually I am. Never mind. Yeah, I am faster, which is great because I was like, yay! And he goes into his Sizen Dora again, and I go for a T-Bolt just to knock him out. So I'm like, what's the point in that? What are you trying to use to get rid of it? As Deathfather or something? So anyways, he goes into his Shandera, and I go for the T-Bolt, and I'm like, oh wow, that didn't even kill him. I'm like, alright, whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna die! And I'm like, oh yay, I lived with 5 HP, which is hilarious. He was really upset. So he switches out, and he goes into that butterfly thing. I had never figured out his name. I'm not sure if that's his actual name or not. But anyways, I'm just going for some T-Bolts, trying to do whatever, and he finally knocks my Zapdos out with a Bug Buzz, and then I go into my Fat Lard, and he decides to set up on me as I go for the Seismic Toss. I'm like, oh wow, you should have just like attacked me or something. Or went into the Shandera. That's what was scaring me. And then he misclicked and went for the Shadow Ball, which was hilarious. But nothing happened that turn because I missed the Toxic. And then he goes for the Overheat. And I knew I was going to take that because I knew because it turns out it wasn't Specs at all. And then I get the Toxic off. And yeah. And then he goes for the Psychic and gets a crit.